Come on, rude boy, won't you give it up?
I saw your video, you did that there as well.
Darude. The name Darude, where does that come from?
Well, long story, but I'll try to make short. Pre-party at my friend's house, I played a track called Rude Boys by Layla K, probably 7 times in a row. Might have been a little tipsy.
Okay.
And yeah, they started teasing me, calling me Rude Boy after that. That was early on when I studied, actually here in Turku. And then I, was online, started using that as my nickname. And later on, a little later when I started making music, that was my artist name, Rude Boy, for a little while. And then I didn't want to be a boy, so the Rude, Darude. And then when my first single Sandstorm came out, or before that, when the graphic designer made the album or single cover, he put it together and then it got stuck, Darude.
And when they approached you to do Uuden Musiikin Kilpailu, did you have to think about it, or was it an obvious yes?
For Finland, it sort of was an obvious yes, but for my career, my timing and everything else around it, I thought of it for a day or so, and then I called back to Anssi and said, like, if I have all the say in all the artistic stuff, or the tracks and the shows and stuff, I'm game, and I took it on, and it's been very exciting. I'm so happy that I said yes, and also I'm so happy that I convinced Sebu to come with me on a little journey we have.
And what about his voice do you like for your songs?
Well, he is a rocker slash live band kind of guy, and some people have been sort of not weirded out, but like how did you come up with that or whatever. But I mean, I've worked with him before, first initially as a songwriter, but I ended up using his vocals as well. And on my Moments album, there's 2 tracks with it. I think, especially in a Eurovision kind of context, it's cool to combine something like my electronic stuff and his more like a rocky vocal, way of singing. So I think it's a perfect fit.
And 2 of the songs you wrote on your own, I believe, and then the third one he contributed to.
Well, actually, I can't take all the credit. 2 of them I wrote together with 2 different teams. So Jaakko Manninen, who's also directed all the music videos for these and 4 of my other music videos earlier, him and American Idol contestant in US, Brandon Burnett, was 2 other writers on Release Me. And then on Superman, Tom Bridges from the Netherlands, and then Chris Hope. And we did a writing camp in Sweden a couple of years ago where Superman sort of came to be first. And then, Sebu's Look Away is his initial text and his initial demo version of it, which I fell in love with.
And so do you have a preference for one of the 3 tracks that you can tell us, or is that a secret?
I kind of don't. I mean, they're all my babies, and I've been trying to not to steer anybody into any direction from my point of view. I have an idea that I'm not saying it's my favorite, but I have an idea that maybe Finnish nation might vote for Superman because it's maybe most of my old sounds in that track. But then again, people like a lot of sort of melancholic stuff, so Look Away is kind of in that vein. Release Me has a lot of me in it, like my life situation and a little bit of a personal story. So I don't know, it's really hard.
Okay. And in terms of the stage show, Sebastian will be wearing leather, we know that. What will you be wearing?
Do you know the Borat green?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not that. I'm kind of very t-shirt and jeans kind of guy, and I have an amazing stylist who's basically pimped me, 1 or 2 notches up from that. So, yeah.
Will you be dancing on stage?
I'll be behind the desk and a couple of machines, and I'll be doing stuff with them. So it's gonna be my kind of dancing, i.e., hands on them and just nodding and more like a DJ kind of dancing.
And people obviously have known Darude for decades. Is this a reinvention in any way? Or not that you're old.
I honestly can say this is definitely a great opportunity for me to reintroduce myself to quite wide audience. I've never shied away from commercial music, commercial melodies and hooks, but I've also not had a huge commercial hit since early 2000, 2001 too, where my first tracks officially came out. So I really don't mind the exposure either.
Really?
But I mean, I've been working for 20 years and I've released 4 albums, and so there are other tracks than say that one Storm track too. So.
And does it ever get annoying having such a global hit? Like, because people, do they define you by the hit?
I mean, that definitely is defining me for several, kinds of people, but I always think that if you know only one track of mine and it's Sandstorm and you come to the show because of that, I mean, that's one ticket sold, and that's one more chance to show people what I do now after so many years and what I do now in terms of other music and what I play and what my style is. So it works for me. And also, if somebody criticizes me for only having one track, that's on them, because I have quite a lot of other tracks.
Yeah.
And in this day and age of Google and YouTube and Spotify, you can find me in milliseconds, all of my work, if you want to.
And the sound often, or at least the older tracks, there's some times a video game sound. Where does that come from?
I think it came sort of quite organically. Then I wasn't really a gamer, but I was studying telecommunication, and a lot of that had to do with computers. A lot of that had to do with the quite early internet, then like 95, 96, when I started making music. So a lot of my friends were gamers, and then also the sounds just were some of the bleeps and blobs of that era too that I ended up using.
Cool. And finally, you're about to go all over Europe singing whatever song you win tonight for several months. Do you have a message for all of your new fans who you're going to encounter along the way?
You see what you get. I think I am a very normal, personable guy. If you see me somewhere, I don't consider myself any better or bigger than anybody else. Come talk to me and slap a high five, maybe grab a drink. That's me.
High five. He is Darude. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, good to see you in real life.
Yeah, no Skype here.
Yeah.